the first regiment. So again, 1 Corinthians 16, verses 1 through 2 says, "Now concerning the collection for the saints, as I have given orders to the churches of Galatia, so you must do also. On the first day of the week, let each one of you lay something aside, storing up as he may prosper, that there be no collections when I come." So there's a principle there, and usually that principle that we stress on there is first day of the week you give. Just as when you, every time you go to church on Sunday, you should be giving, you should be tithing, giving offerings and such. But there's also a principle to this lay by and store thing where you're setting aside week by week. And the reason for that is when you're making an ongoing, systematic, habitual, small offering, that is adding up to something big. And so when you make a weekly commitment to give, it may not seem like much at the time, but if you're doing it week after week after week, it ends up being something that's very significant numerically. Our giving is significant not by amount necessarily, but the amount is significant, but it's connected to our heart. You know, just like the parable of, or not the parable, but the literal story of the woman with 2 mites. She gave all that she had. And so it wasn't the amount, it's the heart condition and the sacrifice, which is going to be different based on how much you have. But the principle is, Paul says, you do this now. If you do this each week, by the time I come, there's not like, how can I pay for this? The need is too big. No, because you've been disciplined. That's kind of our theme through everything. Discipline, repetition, diligence, Pastor Larry's favorite word. This systematic, repeated thing, which is this whole program, our whole spiritual life is about discipline. That you do this every week, it makes a huge difference. Paul's saying you do this every week. By the time I get there, the need's already met. You don't have to worry about it. And so what we want to do is, with our small income, because I realize we're talking to a room full of teenagers. Some of you maybe don't even have jobs, but you have an allowance. Some of you may not even have an allowance, but you have special money that you can get for special things. But the point is, with whatever you have, that you are making a point to give every week, that adds up to something very significant.